everyone. Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Llegó el domingo. It is Sunday, at least for me. It is Sunday. I got a big, not so surprise, but a surprise for me because today the show is really about inspiration. So I hope all of you can join us. Va a estar caliente. El programa va a estar caliente, caliente, caliente. Pero comencemos primero esperándolos ustedes, que ustedes compartan. So you know how we do here in Lily Sin Barreras. We are bilingual, trilingual, cuatrolingual, you know. And so we are going to wait for you guys to connect. I did it 2 minutes earlier. Our guests are coming on soon. But this is a topic I don't talk much about. Este es un tópico que vamos a hablar un poco más hoy, del cual no hablo mucho de ello, pero que he cambiado de opinión. I've changed my mind. I want to talk more and more and more and more and more and more and more about it. So keep connecting, keep sharing, and we will go from there. Our guest is in the background. Guys, you can hear me, but no one else can. So we're going to keep you in hiding, which is perfect for our topic today, right? So they can hear us. I'm so excited to have them. So excited. And I hope I can hold back my tears because I have my own testimony about watching them together. And when I met them and my conversations with them individually, and they probably don't even remember half of it because they're just good people who are spreading love all the time. And so when you are that way, guess what? You are just who you are. So there is nothing better for someone to be able to share their light. You can do nothing at all to dim their light. Well, these two young folks that you'll meet today, no se le apaga la luz, pueden prender vela, pueden comprar lo que ustedes quieran, le cortan la electricidad como ustedes quieran, no se apagan. Mira que tratan, pero no se apagan. As a matter of fact, every time we go see them, they get better and better and better and better. And so I was really inspired. I first met who I dare to call Anita. And I had such a beautiful experience with just her aura. Me hizo sentir tan lindo, tan hermoso, la aura de ella y todo eso. No tenía ni idea quién era, ni de dónde era, ni nada por el estilo. Simplemente la presencia de ella, only her presence. Little did I know that she's the leader, of the choir, that she's in Bristol Works, that she's all over the place. Que jefa. All right. So I had no idea, but that's how powerful people can be when they're living in their truth and in their light. So with her fiance, they're getting married very, very soon, which is even more powerful because Lord knows what they're going to do with these two. It was exactly the same. We had little conversation here, little conversation there, and all of a sudden llegué a la iglesia un día y el hombre está empatado allá con el micrófono y cantando y todo. I was like, what in the world is going on? So you'll have the privilege that I've had for months to meet two people who truly inspire me. They have a lot to give. So I hope that you all, and we got our friends and you'll be able to see them. I know people from our house of faith that are like, where are they? They're already asking me. They are here. They're in the green room. I promise you. But first, I want to start by thanking God for allowing us to have this time together. ¿Verdad? Gracias, Papito Dios, que nos permite tener este tiempo unidos y juntos. I always talk to you guys about the importance of looking at our younger generation and learning ongoing from them. Ongoing and listening to them. Ongoing. Right? So we must be teachers and students every day. So todos los días nosotros tenemos que recordarnos que nuestra juventud tiene mucho que ofrecer y que este mundo ahora es de ellos. Este mundo es de ellos. So nosotros vamos a apoyarlos a ellos y ellos nos van a enseñar a nosotros cómo podemos lograr eso. But I want to start thanking everybody who supported Lely Sin Barreras. I also want to thank everybody who was praying for me during my intervention. I am doing fine. I am doing great. As you can see, right? So we are doing great. But I wanted to read, before we bring our guests on, this beautiful thing that I found from Jay Shady. And it says the following, which will make a lot of sense. Gratitude does not make happiness and success about the size of our homes. Yo quería compartir esto con ustedes. Hay un joven que se llama Jay Shady y él habla mucho del amor, de la compasión, de todo eso. Dice, no permitamos que nuestras vidas se definan a través de qué. ¿De qué? Alguien me dice, a través de qué, del tamaño de nuestros hogares, del carro que manejamos, de cuánto tenemos en la banca. No, señores, para nada. But about the size of our heart. So vamos a terminar el costo de nosotros, ¿por qué? Por el valor de nuestro corazón, de lo que está dentro de nuestro corazón. Porque mira, la cuenta de banco se puede ir mañana. You can lose everything tomorrow. Bank account is gone. House is gone. Friends are gone. Everything could be gone tomorrow. Okay? Vamos a vivir en gratitud. So it is in gratitude that I thank these two young people. And let me just tell you how much they're going to rock the house. They did not ask me one question. They said, okay. They trusted me. Enough. The crazy lady. They trusted the crazy lady and did not ask one question. They're like, okay, we're down. So that talks about really being you and being true to you. Gracias, Puerto Rico, que estás con nosotros. Connecticut Car. Thank you, Valentina Sanchez. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Our author, Kathleen 10 Hours. Thank you for being with us. Our boy, Mike, que está presente con todos nosotros. Quiero dar, mi equipo, Alejandro Cortesal, Wanda Adlers, who had the experience to be in church for the first time today with us. You know, Pastor Gary probably scared her. You know, we're going to have to apologize for him. We love Pastor Gary. And we also have Otero. So we have people from all over the world that stay with us all the time. So I'm going to bring my guests up, and you're not going to believe. You saw a flyer of them, but let me just tell you, when you meet them via camera, because this is as close as we're going to get this time. Anita is special in so many ways, but has the voice of an angel. And Joey can rock the house. So together, I don't know what's going to happen. So let's bring our guests up here to join us. Hello.
What's up?
Hey, what an introduction. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
Did you know you guys were that powerful?
I mean, that's what we hear from people. So, you know, it's really about the spirit. It's about the
Amen.
Spirit.
Amen. So I wanted to bring you both onto the show because you guys both have stories for many, testimonies for others, right? A book to write probably in the future together. But what I want to share with you guys is that they both have their own testimony. Cada cual de ellos tiene su testimonio y ahora tienen su testimonio como pareja. You can turn down your volume over there so you don't clash with the one in the studio. That happens all the time. So here we go. So I want to start with something that was very powerful that Anita said to me. I'm calling her Anita. I didn't know that Anita struggled with mental health, and I'm a mental health survivor. Tried to take my life. God didn't let me. I was really pissed off with him. Like, just, I ain't friends with you no more. That was my conversation. And Pastor Gary said, you know her? And I said, no, I've never met her. Guess where I found her? And I'm like, okay. And he said, at a psych unit. And then I said to Anita, I think we share something in common. And I said, I don't talk about this much. And she's like, I'm not ashamed of it. And I thought, wow, I definitely have to follow her now. I definitely have to keep close. Now, I'm not talking about following and social media. I'm talking about following someone's light. That's a very different thing. So, Anita, I thank you so much for allowing me to have that space. At the time, I don't think I was talking to Joey because I don't think I met Joey then. No? Okay,
No, I
good.
don't think so.
Okay. So then I met Joey and I thought his spirit was impactful. And everything that came out of his mouth was just like, oh God, you have to write a book. And he would just smile and look at me and then started singing as well. Anita, can you tell us a little bit and we'll break this down individually and then put you guys together as a couple? Señoras y señores, se van a casar. Se van a echar la laza. Okay. Se van a enrollar. No, yo llevo 20 y pico de años casada y estoy muy feliz. Muy feliz. So it's going to be a beautiful ride with a lot of love. So se van a casar muy, muy pronto. And you have a lot of comments already going here. People are like really excited that you're here. So Anita, tell us, what happened? How do you come to higher ground?
Sure. Well, I grew up kind of knowing the Lord, being a believer, and even that being said, kind of just living a very fast lifestyle, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, just to put it very simply. Found myself in a lot of sketchy situations, really looking for love in all of the wrong places, and never finding any true peace or comfort. I decided to kind of direct all that energy by going into the Peace Corps. And I spent a little bit of time in Africa, about 6 months there. And I really felt like I had finally found my calling, like I was serving people, like my life had meaning and purpose. And through this whole chain of events, it turned out that I was diagnosed with an eating disorder by the medical director there. So I was medically evacuated from the Peace Corps. And all of a sudden, here I was back home, back at square one, no car, no job. I had broken my relationship with the person I was with at the time. And really no hope and no purpose, just because I had invested everything in being in the Peace Corps, and it was such a big deal to me at the time. And kind of dwelling in all of that for about a month or so, I just went into this very, very deep depression where I was angry with God, and I felt like, God, my intentions are so selfless, or at least I thought they were at the time. How could you pull me out of this situation? This is all I had. And this was such a big part of me. And so I did end up at a point where I was having suicidal thoughts for about 3 days. Until finally I remember crying out to God and saying, where are you? Can you even hear me? And I felt like I heard the voice of the enemy saying to me, your God is not here. And for me, that just broke me. So I did go to the psych ward and spend about a week there, just kind of getting back on my feet and getting some clarity. And I began hearing the voice of God and having some positive perspective for the first time in a while, and finding some hope. And while I was there, my grandmother had asked her pastor, Pastor Gary DeRosa, to come see me. And I had kind of known him, popped into his church a few times, but was a little skeptical. If you know him, he's like a little bit of a character, so you either love him or hate him. And
Who hates Pastor Gary? I know some people. Oh, sorry.
Not love him or hate him, but you might be a little like, whoa, this guy's a lot. And being in a psych ward, and here he comes with his wife, and they're in their leather jackets, and they've got these like thick Long Island accents, and I was just like, who are these people? And he just poured so much into me. He told me that he saw so much for my life, and he just said everything that I really needed to hear, and I really felt like it was from the voice of God. So he invited me to his church. I came out in the weeks following, And then within a matter of maybe 3 months, I became the worship leader at the church and really watched God move in my life under the discipleship of Pastor Gary in the Higher Ground Ministry. And here I am 4.5 years later, met the love of my life at the church, and the rest is history.
Wow. I did not know about the Peace Corps. Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. There's a lot I don't know, of course. Thank you, Anita. Thank you so much. I'm sure this is not going to be your first time here because I'll give you guys a little nugget. She will not advertise it because she's not into making money. Sorry, she just got herself an agent that will make the money for her. Okay. She's written a powerful, powerful song. And it's on Spotify and all that kind of stuff. And I said, I need the world to know. She's like, I'm not really doing it for money. I'm like, whatever. I'm not a good Christian as she is, I guess. But I think everybody should hear it. Anybody who feels that they need a father, a brother, a friend, however you want to interpret it, it's such a powerful song. So love you all. But who could that be? Who could that be showing love? And so Joey, Señor, let me just tell you, not only Joey is an artist, a survivor and a thriver, but also hilarious. I'm sorry, Anita. I do think he's funny.
Yes, he really is.
No, I'm all right. I get around.
You do it, man. You make us laugh. Tell us a little bit about you, Joey, before we go into more of this journey.
My name's Joey Russo. I've been in Bristol for about 1.5 years now. I came from New York. I was living in New York back and forth from Long Island in the city, Brooklyn, Queens. But I was originally born actually in Connecticut. I left Connecticut when I was a teenager. I was born in Bridgeport, and then I moved to New York. And my journey, man, I'm going to say my journey, I want to just speak about, I don't really want to speak too much of my life before Christ, my BC life. I want to talk about like the current situation right now, the current walk and journey. Like I came to know the Lord, and I'm not ashamed to say this. I will say this on a microphone. I'll say this in front of anyone. I am a former drug addict. I'm a former love addict. I'm a former money addict. I was addicted to everything that was fleeting. All the things that rust and fade away, I was so addicted to. And I found myself on my knees, strung out on heroin, IV drug user. I met the Lord in a Long Island Teen Challenge. I was 24 years old, and now I'm 30, going on 31. And God met me right there, man. 150 pounds, strung out of my mind. And God gave me a new name. He gave me a new life. And, as I was serving the Lord, the first 5 years on fire for God, working in ministry, a tremendous, enormous ministry, which is Long Island Teen Challenge. Transitioned out of working there for about 4 years, and I helped start a church, with one of my buddies. His family got a church that was given to him. And so we started this dope young church. And that was about a year, for about 1.5 years post Long Island Teen Challenge. And I found myself kind of going backwards a little bit. I was so, I'm going to use the Spanish word, pendiente. I was so pendiente of serving and grabbing every task and being the man that I forgot the man who gave me my life back. The man who saved me from the graves. So instead of traveling as light, I wasn't traveling light. I was traveling with this weight of just this charismatic, quote unquote, charismatic spirit, but I was just doing and doing and doing and doing. And I found myself turning back to my old lifestyle. And, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Was even after knowing the presence of God and seeing the miracle, experiencing the miracle, and then turning back, I needed to turn back because I needed to be brought down from a high place to remind myself that the grave was once my destination, but my destination today is heaven bound, it's upward. That's where I'm positioned right now. So I share that with you in all honesty because I have to tell that testimony, because if you're out there right now and you're struggling with addiction, and you're struggling with affliction, you're struggling with depression, there's hope, and it's right here. And it starts with being rooted in Christ. Jesus can heal every wound. He will hold you. He will caress you. And as my journey progressed, now I'm back. I'm serving as a youth leader. I'm helping on the worship team, running sound, and making music, working out here. I'm getting married to this beautiful young lady next to me. And there's so much good that's happening. And I thank God for my mistakes and my failures, because I wouldn't be the person I am today. But it all starts with not with what God can do for you, what God can bring you out of. It's the person of God himself. Right. It's who he is, not what he can do. What he can do is beautiful, but if you don't understand who he is, he's just a blesser. I don't just want the healing, I want the healer. I want the person who can really, really use a guy like me. And that's why shout out to some of those Turning Point guys. Obviously, you're familiar to ministry that's with HGCC. I love seeing those men in there grow and have an opportunity to get a second, third, fourth, fifth. I don't care if it takes 100 chances. Keep getting up and walking forward. And I'm glad that God positioned me where I'm at right now, because I could see the future. And it's whatever he wants to do with me. So I'm just an open book. You can ask me whatever. And I just love you. Thank you for having me.
Señoras y señores, esto es nuestra juventud. Nuestra juventud. Estos son los que nos van a sacar hacia adelante, los que van a seguir con lo que nosotros hemos comenzado o lo que no hemos comenzado. Esto es bien importante, que ustedes escuchen el testimonio de dos personas que se sentían perdidas. Pero hay algo que Joey dijo que yo encuentro que es tan único, and I've never heard it before. This is the first time, and I've done a lot of interviews. I've been doing this for 34 years. You can get so involved. Uno se puede envolver tanto y tanto y tanto y tanto que voy a hacer, que voy a participar de todas las reuniones, que voy a correr este grupo, que voy acá, que voy allá, que estoy en todas, que te pierdes la conexión que tú tienes con el poder divino. Te pierdes. Y es bien fácil sentirse mal cuando uno se pierde y caer en el vacío donde uno estaba antes. Por eso es que hay que cuidarse tanto. And I do want, Joey, that's, preaching to me, man. I just went through an experience where I was like, I'm not doing that. Con nosotros, and we always like to remind people, Mari Collazo, Mari, ¿cómo estás? Alina, forgive me. Thank you for being with us. Everybody has a chance to share your comment. And we will share them out here. We want everybody to treat all of our guests with love. And I will be honest with you, if any comment is destructive or is not up to the level of kindness, generosity, and purpose, it will be blocked. So I'm too a straight shooter, and I think that's why I like this little house that I belong to, that you all have welcomed me to. So I want to talk to you all about how do you do, and this is really, really important, porque nosotros a veces le hacemos la vida a la juventud de cuadritos, because we have our own thoughts, right? So if I'm older than someone else, actually Anita and Joey are older than my daughter. I mean, younger than my daughter. And we tend to want to power their voices, their thoughts, their feelings, what they're doing, because we think we have these expertise. And what we do is we burn the fires and aspirations and desires and talent, because we're not willing to work multi-generational. And that's just the road, right? That's just the road. How do you, Anita, I'll ask you first. How do you keep yourself in check and in self-care? Because you do a lot of work. We all are aware we are a very small, very large, hearted community, and our community of faith, a higher ground, but you are in charge of a lot. How do you self-care to make sure you don't get off track? Mm-hmm. Help us with that.
Yeah, well, Lily, it's a work in progress. I feel like Joey and I are constantly having this conversation of wow, we do so much, um, and constantly reflecting on, are we just serving or are we really living? Like, where's the balance in that? And I think the number one thing has to be staying grounded in the presence of God, and staying grounded in the present moment with those around you. And I'm always open to hear what Joey has to say. If he has comments like, hey, we really should take some time to just have a weekend, and not just go. So just staying grounded in faith and in family, and remembering the values and the reasons why you are working as hard as you are working, and not just being so workaholic centered, which I think we both have the tendency to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you're full of love. And usually people who are full of love want to give everything. I asked Anita first because I want to be very clear que el camino es diferente para el hombre y para la mujer.
Yeah.
El camino, la sociedad, cómo nos comunicamos es diferente para la mujer que para el hombre. Y no todo el mundo nos dice eso, ¿verdad? Entonces pensamos que así lo he dicho, el caso cerrado, para robarle la doctora, ¿verdad? Pero we communicate different. There's a male language, there's a female language. Sometimes we can travel together in our language, but we are different in our language. So coming together in whatever group, I work with a lot of men, we have to figure out how we speak, how we listen, and how we work together. Joey, you are, tell me, how do you keep yourself, and I use in check because I have check and balances, ¿verdad? Yo me mantengo diciendo, okay, me fui muy para allá, me fui muy por acá. Me voy por aquí, me voy por allá. Oh, that might not be where I want to be. And so it's constant for me to put myself in check. Like I recently just made a mistake and I know it was mine. And I put myself in a position that I know it hurts me, but it's my responsibility because I was in charge of me. Right? So I got to like look at myself in the mirror and say, yo tengo que asumir responsabilidad. Yo fui la que me puse en esa posición. ¿Verdad? Because responsibility is number one, right? You got to put yourself in check and say, this one is on me. You know, I can't blame anybody else. How do you do it in your male world, which is a whole different world? My guys and I talk about this all the time.
Well, I got a good play on words because I just heard you say checks and balances, right? You just said checks and balances. Let me get a little pastory on you. You know what I mean?
Go for it.
So you're talking about checks and balances, and I think that most importantly, you have to I think for myself, you know, you mentioned checks and balances, but what I'm thinking of is deposits. How much am I depositing inside of myself that is wholesome, that is noble, that is trustworthy, that is balanced, that what are the signals? But really, how much am I filling myself up personally? Because a car can't run with no gas. Right. And even in a relationship, 2 dead batteries can't start a car. So how are we supposed to?
Whoa, Joey.
Yeah, sorry.
No, don't apologize. This is a golden nugget. I don't want it to go. Escuchen todo el mundo. 2 baterías. Y aún en una pareja, no van a prender el carro. Pueden tener 2 baterías, 2 automóviles, pero si las baterías no sirven, ninguno de los 2 autos van a prender. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a golden nugget. That's the only reason I stopped you. So, vamos a apuntar todito. I'm writing that one down.
Yeah. Subscribe to my YouTube. No, I'm kidding. Don't.
You gotta do it.
No,
you gotta
do it. Page. Yes. But honestly, it's just like it's knowing how much am I filling myself with the fuel, which is the Word of God, which is rest. People, there's a correlation to rest and energy. Rest provides you moments of clarity, better decision making, a better opportunity or a better availability inside of yourself to say no. Because one thing that I do know as well is even when you're in ministry and when life is going well and you have a strong character and with God's blessings, sometimes you got to watch out for the cheerleaders It's not the people. It's not the haters. It's the people that keep cheering you on, and they want to give you the platforms. They want to give you the next stage. They want you to do the next event. You know why? Because what happens is just because it may seem like a good thing doesn't make it a God thing. And so many times we have to know what we're depositing, because if we're doing more depositing, or if we're doing more withdrawals than deposits, what is happening is we're giving some of that fresh fruit that belongs to the Lord. We're giving it to everybody else. And sometimes we need that. We give our first fruits to the Lord, but he in turn, he gives us the strength. He will never give you too much where you cannot handle it. But it's hard because we have to fine tune our ears so we can hear the voice of God, so we can know what is of him. Because you'll find yourself burnt out. So what I do is I really have to pay attention to myself as a man, because I've gotten burnt out before, and I know the consequences of being a yes man. And that's never, ever, ever a healthy outcome.
Right.
You know? And so, like, I could just share that with you is deposits. You said checks and balances. I say deposits. Oof. Watch those deposits. You know what I mean? Because honestly, it's important to continue to fill yourself, because you want to be effective. And this is the last thing I want to say about this, because I want to share with, it's not about like how much you can do. It's about what you can do and how effective it is. So I want to commit myself to sometimes doing less well, as opposed to doing more 50-50, you know? So when you do less well, your efficacy is completely skyrocketed. You know what I mean? So I just want to share that with you, you know? Sometimes the power of no is beautiful, but being aware. So got that for you.
Oh yeah, you got that for me, and you're preaching to me today, believe it or not, Joey, you came to preach to me today. Para todos ustedes que no conocen la pareja que están viendo, las dos caritas que están viendo ahora en pantalla es Anamaria y Joey, que se van a casar pronto se van a casar, pero se van a casar con amor, conciencia, apoyo, clarititos de por qué se aman, por qué se quieren, cuál ha sido su destino para cada uno y cuál va a ser su futuro, ¿verdad? Porque ahí es donde el matrimonio se une hasta más, porque las rocas van a llegar. Los momentos duros van a llegar y los momentos ricos son divinos. Pero es la tribu. Pero Joey dijo algo que yo creo que es vital para nosotros. Vital para nosotros. Hay algo que no se nos ha comentado, and I have to be honest with you, I haven't read that book. That is the title of the book. Watch out for your cheerleaders.
Yeah.
That is the title of that book. I'm trying to convince him to write a book, so maybe I'll get to his head sometime. Maybe he'd be like, no, you're another of my cheerleaders. Go away, Lily. No. Go away. Go sit over there, Lily. Pero para todos ustedes que no lo saben, aquellas personas que siempre te están motivando y siempre te están diciendo, tú eres bueno para esto, tú eres bueno para aquello, tú debes de estar acá, tú debes de estar allá, qué lindo canta, debes estar acá, depilan tu energía y uno tiene que tener mucho cuidado. Ahora, lo que sí he practicado por muchos años, a veces fracaso, es el aprender a decir que no. Pero quiero recalcar lo que Joey dijo. Es mejor hacer las cosas de todo corazón a 100%, ser menos tareas y hacerlas al máximo. So I just did a show and I just did a café con Lily that said, are you busy or productive?
That's good.
Bars. That's good.
Are you busy or productive? Because you know we are always busy. But what did we get out of that day? What did we get out of that a half an hour, 45 minutes? What did we get out of it? What did we invest? Ay, me encanta el banco. Joey habla del banco. Piensen en el banco. Usted no puede ir a sacar dinero del banco si no lo tiene. ¿Verdad que sí? Solo tiene que depositar emocional, físicamente, psicológicamente, porque nos depilamos y nos caemos y nos deprimimos, ¿verdad? Y entonces estamos agotados, cansados y entonces preguntamos, ¿por qué? El por qué está lo que Joey dijo. ¡Ay, Dios mío! Él está aquí como que predicando. He can't help himself.
You can't.
You can't help yourself, and I love it. I love it. Felicidades, muchas bendiciones, le desea Angélica. Correcto, nos dice Angélica. So, todos los comentarios que ustedes ven aquí son todos los comentarios de nuestra audiencia. And then I get private comments. I'll share them with you guys too. And probably questions. ¿Quién se iba a imaginar que dos jóvenes que vienen de caminos completamente opuestos? How would you put together? I mean, in your head, you're thinking two people who come from totally different backgrounds. My husband and I come from totally different backgrounds. Feminist, Republican, Democrat. You know, like I was like, this is never going to work. Lord, this is just, I got to run and run now. And we have had a beautiful, beautiful journey. Hard times, good times, times that we go, we don't know what's happening, but okay, we're going to roll with that. 3 children, 2 grandchildren. Perfection is a lie. I tell people all the time, perfection is a lie. You know what's perfect? That person for you. Right? That house, that apartment for you. That's, my husband says, don't tell anyone. That person is perfect for you. So don't measure up to other people. Okay? All the time, you know. Don't get into the Kardashian dreams. Okay? And Anamaria's like, oh my God, she's criticizing the Kardashians. We're going to get in trouble. No, it's on me. It's on me. The only one that can get in trouble here is me. So it is great support. Anamaria, tell us a little bit, or you guys can decide who wants to answer this question. When you guys start looking at each other and start thinking about, hey, maybe this is someone I feel more than friendship towards. Because friendship is love. I argue this all the time. I love a lot of people who I really, really love, dearly love. But that partnership, ese lazo, es diferente. How does this happen?
I love
this is a good couple. Who answers this question?
I never really expected Joey and I to be in a relationship. I guess we're a little bit of opposites. He's very outgoing. I'm more reserved. Even just like in the way that he dresses and the way that he presents himself. I don't think we could be more different. But
yeah,
after a couple months of just seeing him around the church and hearing him talk in groups and like realizing how articulate and intelligent that he is, you know, something stirred up in me. And I even had people say, you know, Joey would be a great guy for you. You guys are both musicians. You guys are both artsy. And then I did start to see, all right, like maybe we aren't polar opposites. Maybe we do have some things in common. And it sounds like around the same time Joey started having those thoughts.
Around the same time, you think?
Yeah, well, you know, I could get into the Greek, but I'm not going to get into the Greek, you know what I mean? But honestly, there's different types of love, you know, there's intimate love, there's friendship, you know, there's a lot of different types of love. And, you know, when you begin to look at someone, I feel like the way that we interact as humans, you know, from the opposite sex, you know, from male to female, it's like, you know, there's always kind of just like the way life is. There's always this fast track to finding out, you know, who's your soulmate, who's meant for you, like where's the chemistry. And so the quick story I can tell you about like me and Anamaria, never was looking at her. I was at church one day. I've been in HGC for like a few months at least, and I wasn't even looking at her. I knew she was just a girl. She had a nice voice. So one service, I'm just minding my own business. I walk in the building. Go and sit inside of the sit in one of the chairs on King Street. I'm just minding my business, you know, said hi to a couple people, and I'm just looking forward. And it was bizarre. I looked to the left side. I just looked to the left like this, and I saw her, and it was her side profile. Mind you, I never had looked at her like that ever. When I turned that specific day, and this is a true story, I looked to the side, and I see her standing there talking to someone. And just something came over me. It was just like the first thing that came to my mind. And it wasn't even about the aesthetic or how she looked or what she was wearing. It was like, that's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. And I looked at her, and then I just like didn't say anything. And I was just like, after that day, I was just like, what was that? I was like, what was that? And then so 3 days later, she hits my DMs on Facebook and says, "Hey, what's up, J Dog?" so this is fun. It's fun. It's
a
hilarious.
Little bit of a modern romance. We did start talking on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
but it was
course.
just so ironic that it was like 3 days after that I had seen her and that had happened in the church. So I mean, I knew something was special. I didn't, project any expectations. I didn't go into it. I just let God do what he always does, and he shows off. And so I'm blessed by it. But, there are different types of encounters, that you have. But I knew off the gate that this was something that was pure.
Yeah.
And that needed to be handled carefully, not something that you just waste, too rare to rush. You know what I'm saying? Too rare to rush. And so there's a lot more to the story, but that's just a Cliff Notes version.
Yeah. And one thing I will definitely mention, and it was like this little bug in my ear before we started dating, is people always say you'll find that person when you're not looking. And it's so frustrating to hear that. And it's so hard to not be looking when that's something you desire as a spouse. But we really, the both of us, were not looking at all.
Not at all.
And God just moved. So I hope that encourages somebody out there that just focus on yourself, just focus on God, focus on your dreams and your desires, and all the rest will fall into place.
Yeah.
Anita, what I love about the two of you is that you know your own story. And Joey, I don't know if you remember this. Poor Joey. He's like, what did I say to this woman? What did I say? From now on, he's going to walk around with a recorder. Whenever we talk. And what was it that you said to Anamaria? Do you remember what you said? Our church did, can I say that? Our church did a trip. And the trip is really not what was important, although we had a great time. But I happened to be on the same bus with these two beautiful people and many other brothers and sisters. And what did you tell Anamaria? You didn't want to know the best of her. You wanted to know.
I know where you're going with this. Yeah, no, I mean, going into this, I didn't want something fake, and I didn't want to manufacture anything. But honestly, I really wanted to get to know her. And obviously, we both stand, and we'll say this, we stand with purity. There was no sexual activity. We believe in what the word of God says, and we walk it out, and we're walking it out. And I told her, I was just like, I don't want to know I don't want to know the best parts of you. It's like, tell me the worst parts of you so then I can love you. I can love those things first. I can love you in that place first, because I don't want to just know what you present yourself as. I want to get to know the real you, the person that's in there. So let me love those worst and those weakened areas, because I know that those are the least addressed places inside of your life. And as a woman, I want to get to know you. I don't want to just go with you and date around. I don't want to be an Instagram relationship. I don't want to be this beautiful aesthetic, and then we don't even know the depths of where we've been and who we are and what we struggle with and what pains us. So it's just like, I encourage all you young couples out there, don't be afraid to go deep. Don't be afraid to go deep, because when you really want to get to know someone, you need to start from the bottom up, and you need to love those little dark crevices, those things that end up coming on later in the relationship, when you're like, why are you struggling with this? What's happening in this area? And you see that there's something wrong with your spouse. It's because, have you asked them? Have you said, hey, what do you think your weakest part is? What don't you like about yourself? And volunteer to love that part of them. It takes two to tango. It takes a village to raise a child. I'm telling you, it's like two is better than one. It always will be. But like I said, know your spouse. Learn them. Spend the time. That's a huge part of the relationship. And I think that's why our relationship isn't so great, because we know each other.
Yeah.
We know each other. It's beautiful. So, I mean, I could keep talking, but like I said, I got you.
That doesn't happen to me often. I get paid to talk, and Joey's not making me be able to do my job. Okay, you owe me coffee now, Joey.
Yeah.
I'm para todos ustedes que no escucharon esto, y nosotros somos un programa que nos dedicamos a remover barreras. That's my entire goal. Y para mí es maravilloso conocer a jóvenes, ¿verdad? Y no estoy hablando de inmadurez, estoy hablando de jóvenes cronológicos por su edad, porque los dos son unos viejitos. Pero estoy hablando de su edad. Qué romántico, pero cuán íntima tiene que ser esa conversación y tan fuerte que alguien te diga a ti, no me digas lo mejor de ti. No quiero ser una pareja del Instagram, del Facebook, de esto. No quiero tener esa foto maravillosa. Lo que quiero, le estoy añadiendo un poquito, pero en realidad lo que él le dice es, dime lo peor que tú piensas que es lo peor de ti, para yo aprender a amar eso primero. Eso primero. Yo no sé ustedes, pero yo la primera vez que me escuchó se me grabó y lo hice que él me lo repitiera en el autobús. ¿Te acuerdas de eso, Joey? I made you repeat it to me. He was like, oh, okay, this is what I said. So people, wow, tremendo testimonio. Dios los bendiga siempre a los dos. That comes from my mama. Like my real biological mama. Like the one that can kill me.
Yes. Come on.
So, the only one who has. Son un ejemplo a seguir. And the reason why I put these comments up is so you can see that there is a community in Lily Sin Barreras. And now you are the faces of that hope that people have. Now, these two are the coolest people also. Don't get it twisted. Ok, no empiecen con estas cosas. Estos no son los que no se sonríen, los que no regocijan, los que no te tiran un chiste. Anamaria is like a fat dresser. All of those things. How do you keep that? How do you keep, because you are in this world, right? Mm-hmm. We all live in this earthly world, right? None of us as of yet have departed here that we're talking. Many of us have loved ones in the higher heavens. And some of us are in the pain of, losing people, actively losing people, so on and so forth, or in fear sometimes that if we don't get to some of our people that we love desperately in our communities and, in our families, that we might receive that phone call or be part of something that will definitely need a lot of community to heal. But first of all, God. When people look at you, Anamaria, and I see you at a restaurant, I can't put the stamp on you of, oh God, I hope she ain't coming my way. I hope she ain't coming to hallelujah myself. She I hope she's not coming that. Same thing with Joey. How do you guys handle that so you can still inspire people, because you do all the time, but be earthly, be here, so people can relate to you, because that's a big problem that we have. That people see you coming and they go, you look it, you scare me, don't want to talk to you. So how do you guys deal with this?
Yeah, that reminds me of my grandmother always says that you can be so spiritually well that you're no earthly good. And I think we've both met people like that, where everything is so hyper spiritual. And obviously we have very strong faith in God. But like you said, it's really important to be down to earth and to be able to connect with people who don't belong to any faith and still be a light unto them. So I think it's just important to be yourself. Remember to laugh. Remember that you are not there to judge anyone. Another great quote that I love is that we catch him and he cleans them. He meaning God. that you just love people where they're at, and don't expect people to necessarily subscribe to your values, your faith, your truth. Just love them where they're at and hope that the word of God does what it's supposed to do, and that eventually they'll change. And if not, you just continue to love them and be yourself.
That is really good, Anita. That is really good. But I'm just telling you, when you meet Anita, you're like, where'd you get those boots? Where'd you get that sweater? Where'd you get this? Where did you got that? Because she is really, really, her presentation of herself is very loving and kind. But it doesn't strip the things that we like in our presentation. As you mentioned early, Joey, and you have different, dressing styles. Okay, my husband and I do too. He's like, I gotta wear a tie. Why do I gotta wear a tie? Because after he retired from the military, he's like, I'm not gonna wear a tie anymore. Yeah. Nobody can make me do that. Well, I can make him do that. So love can make him do that. What about you, Joey? Because I know brothers in the street are looking at you and go, come on, man. Are you serious? You're one of those crazy ones. And now you found Jesus. And now things are good. And now you want to fix us.
I mean, there's so many ways that I like to interact with people too. And as you can see, I'm a colorful person. I have tattoos all over me. Like, I wear funky colored shirts, crazy socks, crazy out. But I'm myself. It's okay to still be you and to like fashion and to have that to be eccentric and be true to the things that you like, as long as they don't become idols in your life when it comes to fashion, when it comes to the gym. I mean, all wellness is the fullness of God is the fullness of life. So there's nothing wrong when you're taking care of yourself and enjoying those things. But in terms of connecting with people, I want to bring this up because when Jesus came and walked on this planet in his ministry, what did he do? He spoke in parables. So basically he spoke in the language and he read his crowds and spoke simply. And it's not that there's not always a place to sit there and give a message in public, or you're talking to somebody who doesn't have the same faith as you. Honestly, one of the best representations, and I'll say this live, one of the best representations of Jesus is honestly just loving someone. Right. It could be a smile. It could be including someone at the workplace, out in the mall. It's not all about just pumping scriptures down people's throat, asking them to pray. Those are all great things. But sometimes you have to read the room and read the personality. And the thing is the number one thing you can do is love. And keep it simple, and then also with it, be yourself. I love to laugh. I mean, me, I play music, I still love vibing with jazz and some rock and roll and stuff like that too. But like, the thing is like, when you're consistent in who you are, people will listen to you. Right. And what better way than to have someone listen to you who is an unbeliever? But you have to know how to have that initial contact with someone, especially when you're trying to reach someone or you're doing outdoor events and outreaches and stuff. But the number one thing is to approach it with a heavy dose of love, a joke, a hug. Those things break the ice. They break the ice. So with me personally, that's how I deal with it. I'm not gonna always just approach somebody and be like, oh, you need to go to church, you're a sinner, you're like, how is that? Jesus didn't come down on the earth and did that. He met people right where they were at, and he loved them, and he spoke to them stories of what was to come and how life can be better, and he explained to them, because he took the time to keep it simple. But first he came and he loved them, and I think that's the most beautiful approach to the human experience, is being able to extend love to the person that's opposite of you, whether it's intimate, whether it's friendship, and whether it's a stranger, so I like that.
So Joey, love is a verb, is what I say on my show all the time. Yeah. Love is a verb. El amor es un verbo, señoras y señores. Y no tenemos que ser nada más que la mejor versión de nosotros. Apoyar, dar amor todo el tiempo, suspender el juicio. Somos humanos. Saber que somos humanos y que cada cual tiene su camino. y uno no puede caminar ni darle prisa al camino de nadie, de nadie. Pero el amor sí puede. El amor sí puede. El amor te acerca a la gente. Ser consistente es otra cosa que han dicho los chicos y yo creo que es bien importante. Ser consistente. Yo te amo en las buenas, en las no, a lo mejor no tan buenas, pero te voy a ir a abrazar cuando las cosas están fuertes también. Te voy a querer en esos momentos fuertes y duros. I know that both of you are, amen, amen, amen. Both of you are looking forward to a ceremony, to that blessing for your marriage, right? But that's just the beginning of the beginning.
Yeah.
The beginning of the beginning. You're always going to have beginnings. Every 5 years you go, oh God, we're in a new marriage again.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're in a new marriage again. Because you will develop as people, you will grow as people, and so on and so forth. And I think that sometimes we don't say that to people. I had to learn that the hard way. I'm like, what I do now?
Yeah.
So you will grow and you will develop, and I have no doubt that you guys are going places I probably can't even either spell, imagine, or even know they're on Earth. I'd be like, how do you spell that? Where are you guys going? So I think it's super important that you guys can do that. What would be your advice to those? Now, remember, we're speaking to Anita and Joey, los dos han sentido dolor, han llorado, han sufrido a una edad tan tierna, que es otro programa para nosotros, a una edad tan tierna, porque es tan tierna. Okay, los 30 años es un comienzo de la vida, un comienzo. You know, antes la sociedad te acostumbra a decir que 30, oh my God, you gotta have that death party. You ain't got no babies, you ain't got no marriage, you ain't got this, you ain't got that. And you're like, I never suffered of that because I was a hardcore feminist. I was like, I don't need no man. I don't need no this. I don't need no that. That's not the perfect attitude, but I did have it. And every once in a while, I'm like, my shoulder comes in going, I don't need that. You know. What are you guys thinking right now? I mean, like, you're around the corner of establishing a marriage that already has been a marriage in Christ, in church, in work, in music. So you guys have been married many times, right? Yeah. Because you share loves, you probably share differences, which is always healthy. Mm-hmm. If you become the same person, it's going to be really boring.
Yeah.
Because you can talk to you. Yeah. You can talk to you. It's always good to talk to someone else. What are you guys looking forward to in this new lazo que le da la vida? What are you looking forward to? Did you see his shoulder? He's already a good husband. He's like, she goes first.
She's got a book. She just wrote something. She has a prepared page of everything. I'm telling you. She just whipped it out of her pocket.
I'm really excited for everyday life stuff. The simplicity, the simple moments, having cups of coffee together. And of course, staying productive and doing all the things that we do as a couple, serving, youth group, worship, doing different events. But more than all that, just really excited for a greater level of intimacy and eventually children one day.
How many? How many?
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, Joey Jr.
Yeah. We're going to be fine. You have babysitters all over the place. You're going to be fine. Don't forget date night.
Yeah. Always. Yeah.
Do not forget date night. I didn't learn that until I was much older. I want to ask you guys this question because I think it's so important for people to realize what is the worst advice that you've been given that you have gone, whew, I'm glad I didn't take that one. The worst advice you've ever gotten.
Just in general?
Yeah, well, for life that you go, oof, I'm glad that one didn't stick. That just went by.
Wow, that's a big question. That's a monument right there. Wow. That's hard. There's a lot of bad advice. I mean, I'm thinking of a lot of horrible advice.
I have one. I don't necessarily think people will agree with me on this, and that's totally okay. But especially within our generation, I feel like the latest motto or fad is to live your best life. And I've always said, like, you know, I don't live to live my best life. I'm going to have joy. I'm going to do exciting things. I'm going to experience. I'm going to love hard. But I feel like living your best life, if I took that advice, I would blow all my money. I would not be kind to people. I would not show up for church. There's just so many different ways that it could go. And I just feel like that's a piece of advice that I don't take too literally, maybe.
That's a good one, Anamaria. That's a good one. You don't get away, Joey, but good try.
Oh, I just.
This is one of those chances where the husband does not get to hide behind the wife.
No, I just had a really good one. That was on the top of my head. Yeah, I know. I was listening. It was good though, what she was saying, because it's true. There's a lot of sayings. Oh, this is a simple one, and I feel like people say this at the end of their conversations, and this is going to be it's going to seem like we've heard it a million times. But I think that I know that this is one that brings so many problems in our life. And it's simple. 3 words that people say all the time. Follow your heart. Yeah. Follow your heart, right? People think, hey, follow your heart. But your heart's not always good.
Right.
The posture of your heart is not always on kindness and is in the right direction.
Yeah.
So following your heart is not going to yield you the best results in life. It's following Christ. It's following Christ and following the goodness, because I'm telling you, our heart is deceitful and will really twist things up. If I followed my heart in so many different situations, I would not be standing here today. I would still be in broken relationships. I would still be fumbling God's blessings, because God will be blessing me and I'm running out and they're just running through my hands like sand.
Yeah.
Because I'm just following my heart. Your heart will lead you off a cliff. God will never leave you off a cliff. And so faith is foundational, but really let that quote, I've always hated it, that advice that people just say, just follow your heart.
Yeah.
I'm not going to follow my heart, man. I'm going to have to sleep on it. Every CEO, every businessman, Fortune 500 companies, Wall Street, anytime they make a major decision, what do? They rest. They sleep on it. So sometimes when your heart is driving you to a place, you have to realize, is this logical? Is this really a good decision? Or is this just my heart beating in desire? And I'm going to be talking a little bit about desire on Wednesday night at HGCC. I'm bringing the word. So it's going to be a powerful word. I believe I got it from heaven. And it's going to touch on that, desires and your heart, so yeah, that's what I got.
Kind of similar.
Yeah.
Nice.
Señoras y señores, a veces nosotros pensamos que estamos diciendo cosas maravillosas, inspirantes y todo eso, pero ¿dónde las depositamos y por qué las depositamos? Una de las cosas más lindas que he escuchado es Anamaria hace un punto increíble y Joey la complementa, ¿verdad? Se complementan el uno al otro. Y ella dice vivir la mejor vida, y puede que hay personas que no estén de acuerdo conmigo, pero ¿qué es la mejor vida? Botar tu dinero, viajar cuando quieras, hacer lo que te da la gana, ¿verdad? No pienses en mañana, vive hoy, vamos a vivir hoy, ¿verdad? Mañana pues es mañana. ¿Y si nos morimos? I hear that all the time. ¿Y si nos morimos? Although I have to be honest with you. If you give me earrings, I will wear them because I am concerned that if I die, somebody else will wear them. So if you ever give me earrings, I'm taking all the earrings that I have and I'm putting them on. Y Joey nos habla del corazón y esa tampoco la había escuchado antes. So nosotros le decimos a las personas, sigue tu corazón, pero si tu corazón nos dice, Joey, esto no sale de mí, sale de Joey, ¿qué tal si tu corazón no está alineado con lo que Dios quiere para ti? Con el tesoro que está a punto de llegar. ¿Qué pasa si tu corazón te está diciendo, vámonos para changuear? Ah, está chévere, está bueno, vámonos para casa de Lili, para acá no aparezcan. A mí no me gusta la gente sin invitación. Que le quede claro. I don't do that. I'm not that kind of Puerto Rican, sorry.
Yeah.
I disappoint a lot of people. I'm like, no, you call first. But Lily, you're so nice. Not that nice. But Lily, I know, right? But Lily, you're a Christian. No. God is still working on me. No. None of that business.
Yeah.
I'll spray you.
Yeah.
Go away.
I'm not that serious. You know what I'm saying?
Joey's like, Anita, we're never going to her house.
No, please.
Don't even show up.
No way.
But it's because I like to have intimate time with the people who I invite to my home. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I like to feel like I'm investing in those people. And if I don't feel all of that process that needs to happen, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And that takes work, right? That takes work for a lot of people. And my husband says, send your dad that memo. It does not apply to dad, honey. 20-something years and he still doesn't get it. Welcome. They're very close. So Anita and Joey, you are around the corner to I don't like saying tying the knot because the knot just seems, I don't know. I'll tell you privately what I think the knot seems like, but I think that you are joining a marvelous journey together. You are joining together your hearts, your souls, your minds. What do you envision before we go? What do you envision your first week of marriage would be? Okay, you got to unpack. You got to do all that stuff. I get it. But what do you envision? Look at Anita's face. You guys, isn't that worth $1 million? What do you envision? You talked about having a cup of coffee together.
I think just the smiles. You know what I mean? Just like that, those ear to ear smiles, and kind of and just being able to be present in those moments, like that comforting touch. You know what I mean? To like, be able to let our hair down and just have no bars hold. And I think that the first week will be like, it'll be kind of like, be like one of those like Disney movies or like, one of those
surreal.
Like, yeah. There's gonna be like a harp playing in the background. I'm like, where's that coming from? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, what? Like, it's gonna be beautiful. But I look forward to just to adjusting and just kind of like really just like getting to know one another deeper.
I am so happy that you guys said yes to being in the community of Lily Sin Barreras. I hope you feel the love.
Yes.
A lot of people are here sending you love. Really, they're really touched by your testimonies. It brings light. It brings hope. If you are at home watching us from anywhere, we have people from Nigeria, from Colombia, from Peru, watching us, from Washington, watching us. My boys from Washington, D.C. are like, hey, you got to get your butt over here. All of us have a different way. And I love what you said, Anita. Meet people where they are. where there are. Pulling and tugging is still forceful. Pulling and tugging is forceful. Loving is not. Because you're going to give what you can give and what people can receive. So it's a whole banquet that you're serving and people can serve themselves, right?
That's good.
So it's the banquet and people go up and they might want to have some macaroni and cheese and I may want to have the salad. That's a lie. I'm going for the macaroni and cheese. Y'all can have the salad.
Yeah.
You know, I put some of the greens in there, but it's really, you know.
Yeah.
I wish both of you the best of the best. I can't think, I haven't met a couple in a long, long time that inspires me as much as the two of you do.
Oh, thank you so much, Ellen.
I have 3 couples. Una de las otras parejas está aquí, que es la familia Cortesal, que son 2 jóvenes maravillosos, hermosos, tienen 2 niñas. Colombia y Perú se unen. Son mi equipo de mercadeo. So they do all of that poppy stuff for me. Y los quiero muchísimo. So, and I have to tell you, I have some really good friends, but they're around my age. But I'm talking about that next generation that's coming, because you will be inspiring my grandchildren. You will. You will be inspiring my grandchildren. So I want to make sure that I am supporting the next generation in the light in that next generation. So you guys can go out there and pour all that love in the generation that's to follow you.
Amen.
Thank you.
I say with an open heart, I've told you both, I truly love your presence on earth. I really like that you guys are here and that you were designed and created to serve, right? And I'm not as good as they are. And I tell you why, because these guys are legit. I still hear salsa and my feet are moving.
Yeah.
I still hear merengue and you can get me over there. So my Anita and Joey might have to be like, oh, don't turn on the salsa. There she goes. Don't turn on the merengue. There she goes. We lose her. But they have met me at where I'm at. So if you want to check them out, they are the powerhouse, the voices of higher ground. They also have a youth ministry coming up. You can check them out also, but Anita is great at answering messages. I've never met anybody who answers messages as quickly as you do.
Just a product of my time.
It's incredible. I love you both, and I can't wait to see what God has designed for you guys.
Thank you so much. We love you so much. It's been a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you. And every time before you guys go, we do have, and those of you who've been here before know, you take a prize of $50 to $100 home cash, no Venmo. Y'all know what happened to me with Venmo. Sorry, Venmo. I lost some money. Tell me, what did Anita say or Joey say that you thought, oh, okay, there's a nugget. Oh, okay. Oh, they made me trip. They didn't look like the people I thought they were. Those are church people. They're not church people. They're God-loving people. I dare to say that you're going to find a couple that really loves God and could fit anywhere. I think they could do that in the backyard. They took the walls away. They could really run their show in the backyard. So what did they say that you think inspired you? You have 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, to bring it home and to let us know what did they say. And you can definitely, thank you, Sarah, for the stars. Every time you guys support us with stars, it really helps our mission to serve our brothers and sisters and not forget to provide them with love. So I have somebody que ha dicho, como siempre, de 50 a $100 que se puede llevar usted a la casa, que ha dicho esta pareja maravillosa, que ustedes en su opinión piensan que fue una inspiración o rompieron un estereotipo, un mito o algo para ustedes y se lo pueden llamar. Simplemente tienen que decirme qué fue lo que dijo uno de ellos. So we have, 2 minutes. I sound like my granddaughter. But I do want to read to you guys. You are both so authentic. I see so much truth and love, and Kathleen would know. My mama, hope both of you come back. Ooh, look at that. Michael, thank you and blessings to you all. Lots of good hearts. My husband was really active. Monica says, amen, Joey. Amazing, Rosemary says. Marisol Wick, our sister Sunshine. I just told her that when she's not in the church, we all panic because her spirit is so powerful. Amen, amen. Angélica, gracias por siempre acompañarnos. ¿Qué nos dijeron estos chicos, Angélica? So powerful and a blessing to see where God is leading and using our younger and wiser generation. Ooh, wiser. There's a key. Wiser. Wiser. Con nosotros también está otra de nuestras colegas, compañeras, una persona muy especial que I get the opportunity. I hope that when I go home and next Friday, I will be in Puerto Rico. You guys will be able to see some of Puerto Rico. Mabel Lasalle, she has beautiful, beautiful things that she does in Puerto Rico. I'm telling you, La Familia Cortizar, Rosemary, Sarah Raskin. And I have to tell you, Sarah Raskin is one of the people that I think she's going to yell at me probably for this, but they're so godly. She's so kind, so generous to me, so loving. And she's in my tribe. So I have some really good sisters that are always giving me love, and checking up on me. So here we go. Oh, what did they say? All right. Saluditos. Oh, here's a good one. Here is a good one. I love the fact that Joey said, be careful with following your heart. That I've never heard that. I love the fact that they shared and are open about their lessons, not mistakes of life. See others like myself can learn and be open about my life lessons. Thank you both very much. Y empiezan las votaciones. Who do you think you should take it home? Who? What comment do you think really takes it home? What Joey said, what Anita said, and you can take it home. I am going to close by telling you this. Yo les voy a cerrar este programa diciéndole lo siguiente. There's not one way. There's many ways. Keep learning every day. Aprendamos juntos. No hay una sola forma de llegar a su destino. There's not one way. There's many ways. If you are in the ring and you've been punched and you're hurt, find people who can lift you up. Get up, scream, cry, do whatever it is you need to do, and get up again. I promise you, it's worth a fight. You are worth a fight, and a good one. Los quiero mucho, señoras y señores. I love you all. Thank you for being with us this Sunday. I hope you will join us next Sunday, but we will be in la isla de Puerto Rico. So if you want to see a little bit about Puerto Rico, you can join me in our lives next week. We'll be there for about 7 to 8 days, and I'll be sharing lives with you so you can travel through Puerto Rico with me. For those of you who've never been to Puerto Rico, y para aquellos que extrañan a Puerto Rico y nunca lo han visto. Me dicen las votaciones. Oh boy. All right. So it looks like Michael Newman is our winner. So Mike, you take home $50. I love you too, Rosemary. Love you very much, Rebecca Slater. Thank you. Great show. I'm glad to hear. Can't wait. That will be much, much fun. So you'll get a lot of lives. Remember, I believe in God. You can call it whatever you want. But please, please, please know that there's something bigger than us. I call it God. Good night, everybody. I will see you next Sunday or on Café con Lili. Keep tuned. Good night, y'all. Buenas noches a todos. Buenas noches.